Hi students, today we are going to discuss about Topper IIT-NEET Foundation in that ninth class biology. In ninth class biology, so the second unit is cell. So what is meant by cell? So there are different inventions regarding the cell, and what are the parts which are mainly present in the cell, and what are the characteristics of the cell. These are all we are discussed in last class. So then coming to the ultra structure of cell means whenever you can see the cell in the microscope, or whenever you can see a tissue in the microscope, ultra microscope, then you can observe different cell organelles which are present inside the cell. So we are already know what are the types of different cells. So in nature there are mainly two types of cells are there. One is prokaryotic cell and second one is eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell means the cell without bounding nuclear membrane is present, means the genetic material is present in the cytoplasm itself. It is not covering with the nuclear membrane. But in eukaryotic cells, the nuclear membrane is surrounding with genetic material or DNA, and this is very helpful for the transformation of genetic characteristics from one organism to the another organism. So prokaryotes means, for example, if you see bacteria and some euglena, paramecium, these are comes under the prokaryotic organisms. And coming to the algae, fungi, or bryophytes, pteridophytes, or human beings, these are comes under the eukaryotic cells. In the eukaryotic cells, the cytoplasm containing a particular cell organelle which is bounded with double membrane envelope, that is called as nuclear membrane. Inside that nuclear membrane, the genetic material is present. And for observing the prokaryotic cells in the microscope, we are going for gram staining. That also we are last time we are discussed. And whenever you can see the bacteria structure, in the bacterium, for locomotion means for movement from one place to the another place, the organism is having one of the structure called as flagella. So with the help of flagella, it can show sidewise lash movement in the swimming or in tissue fluids. Then by using that the flagella, the organism is showing movement from one place to the another place. This flagella is made with a protein called as flagellin. And then coming to the ultra structure of a cell. So here we can see the structure like this. In the plant, whenever you can see, you can take any plant cell, you can take any plant tissue. If you are observing in a microscope, in that microscope you can observe like this cell. So it is somewhat rectangle, hexagonal or rectangular, different shapes you can observe. And the inside that there are so many different cell organelles are present. So what are the cell organelles which are present inside the cell? Now we can see. So here the main difference between the animal cell and plant cell is presence of cell wall. So the upper region wherever it is present, that is called as cell wall. So this is a double membrane envelope like outer covering layer is present. So that is called as cell wall. So cell wall is present only in the plant cell, but it is absent in animal cell. But the outer boundary layer which is present in the animals is plasma membrane, whereas if you can see the plant cell, in that the outer covering layer is cell wall. So the cell wall is giving rigidity, mechanical strength to the plant. But in the plasma membrane, for the protection purpose, the animal cell is containing only the innermost layer, that is called as plasma membrane. So, and inside that there is a nucleus will be there in the nucleus, and whenever you can see the plant cell, in the plant cell most of the place is occupied with a vacuole. When most of the space is occupied with one of the cell organelle, that is called as vacuole. So in that vacuole, whatever the food material which is prepared during the photosynthesis, that will be stored inside this vacuole in the form of amyloplast, elaioplast, or eleuroplast. So these are the different cell organelles which are present in the plant cell. So coming to the first part, that is called as plasma membrane, because this plasma membrane is present in both plant and animal cells. In the both plasma, in plant cell, next to the cell wall, the layer which is covering the cell is called as plasma membrane. But in the animal cell, the outermost layer which is covering the animal cell is called as plasma membrane. This plasma membrane is mainly contain phospholipid proteins. So these phospholipid proteins are giving a particular shape to the animal or plant cell. And it is a selectively permeable membrane. It is selectively permeable membrane because it allows only particular group of molecules only into the plant cell. Otherwise, it is not going. Means it is not allowing. Means if it is not plays an important role in allowable substances, means then it is not a permeable membrane. So it is a plasma membrane in the plant cell and animal cell. In both type of the cells, the plant cell is selectively permeable membrane. The selectively permeable membrane allows only particular type of the molecules only into the body. So that for example carbon dioxide, oxygen, like gaseous substances are allowable through the plasma membrane in the process of diffusion. Or for example, some of the materials like water, salts, minerals, these are also allow into the body with the help of a diffusion process. And in some of the conditions, the organisms are also play an important role in osmosis function. What is that function? Osmosis function. Osmosis function means the movement of solvent molecules, through the solute through a semi-permeable membrane, that is called as osmosis. During the process of this osmosis, the movement of the molecules from one layer to the another, means here the movement of solvent molecules from one place to the, means from higher concentration to the lower concentration will be happen. So it will be means in the osmosis process what happens means the movement of solvent molecules through the semi-permeable membrane will be occurs. But here the plasma membrane itself, it is acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So that's why it allows only some of the substances in a concentration manner. Means from higher concentration to the lower concentration, the movement of the molecules will be occurs. And this plasma membrane is also plays an important role in endocytosis and exocytosis and phagocytosis process also. Means whenever any microorganisms or any foreign materials are try to enter into animal body or plant body, then during the phagocytosis, the organism is acts as a phagosome, and it is inside that there are so many lysosomes are present. These lysosomes are releasing particular digestive enzymes, and it acts as a phagolytic lysosome, and it is engulf that foreign particle into the body, and it is digest that total foreign particle inside the body itself. So that process is called as phagocytosis. So phagocytosis means the eating of different foreign particles inside within the body itself. It is occurs. That process is called as phagocytosis. And coming to the endocytosis means whenever any excess amount of the solvent molecules are try to enter into the body, then there will be some excess amount of the water will be enter into the inside of the body, and body will become very bulgy in nature, and in some time, after some time, it will undergo maybe bursting also. So that process is mainly due to the allowable capacity of this plasma membrane. And in some cases, exocytosis process means whenever it is observing highly concentrating solute concentration, then the excess amount of the materials or excess amount of the salts will be through the it is eliminated to the outside of the body. That process is called as exocytosis. So one is absorbance of the water molecules will be occurs in the endocytosis, and exocytosis means the elimination of excess amount of the minerals or salts into the outside of the body is called as exocytosis process. Any foreign particle is try to enter into the body, then it plays a very important role in engulfing process, and inside that there is a process called as osmosis process, and diffusion process are also will be occurs in this plasma membrane. Then coming to the plasma membrane structure. So the structure of plasma membrane will be explained by so many number of scientists, and highly acceptable model is fluid mosaic model. Which model is acceptable? Fluid mosaic model. In this fluid mosaic model, the protein molecules are floated inside the cytoplasm as a icebergs. So that floating of the molecules inside the cytoplasm as the icebergs will be occurs in the fluid in this model. The fluid mosaic model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Who is that scientist? Singer and Nicholson. So what is that model name? Fluid mosaic model. So in this, I already said to you, the plasma membrane is mainly contain phospholipoproteins. So the phospholipoproteins are present on the outside as the layer, and if the protein molecules are floating inside the cytoplasm as the icebergs. So this theory was called as fluid mosaic model. So it is about the plasma membrane, and it is a thin, elastic and rigid structure, delicate elastic structure, and it is acts as a selectively permeable membrane, and it is approximately containing 75% of the phospholipids and 25% of the proteins. These are all combined and forms the plasma membrane structure. So the model was that the structure was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. What is that model? Fluid mosaic model. Then coming to the another important layer which is present in the outside as a layer in the plants is cell wall. What is that outside layer? Cell wall. So what are the elements which are present in the cell wall? Now we are going to discuss about that. The most layer which is present inside the which is present outside the plant cell is called as cell wall. I already told to you, in animal cell the cell wall is absent. Only in the plant cell the outermost layer which is covering the plant cell is called as cell wall. So the cell wall is giving particular shape to the cell, and it is giving rigidity to the cell, and the cell wall is made with some of the cellulose, pectin and hemicellulose pectin like substances. So these substances are combined with each other and forms the cell wall composition. So the cell walls are in between the one part of the cell wall to the another part of the cell wall. There are some of the porous like substances called as simple pits are present. So the simple plates are acts as a permeable component, and they are allowing some of the particular substances inside the cell, and it is non-elastic nature and rigid, hard in nature, and it give particular mechanical strength, means high mechanical strength and rigidity to this plant cell. Okay, so and the in between the means here the cell wall is mainly three types will be present. So one is called as primary cell wall, and inside that is middle lamellum will be present, and after that secondary cell wall will be present. So the middle lamellum is connecting the primary cell wall with secondary cell wall, and inside the secondary cell wall there are some of the junctions like structures are present. So these junctions are containing tight junction. There are mainly two types of junctions are present. One is tightly packed materials inside the secondary cell wall, they are called as tight junctions, and loosely gap will be present in between these cell wall will be present, they are called as tight gap junctions are present. And there are some of the connecting substances which are present in between this primary and secondary cell wall also, they are called as plasmodesmata, and this plasmodesmata will connecting one cell wall layer with the another cell wall layer, and the middle lamellum is connecting substance which is made with some of the magnesium pectates and magnesium silicate substances, and it is calcium and magnesium pectate substances. And the primary cell wall and secondary cell wall are mainly made with cellulose and hemicellulose substances, and it is giving mechanical strength and support to the cell wall, and it is having a nature called as permeability nature, means it allows all the substances into the plant body. So this is about the cell wall which is present and surrounding the plant. So for example, if you see the plant cell, in the plant cell the cell wall is mainly made with cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin substances. The pectin is some jelly like structure, it is present in between the middle lamellum. So it is a connecting substance, like a connecting substance it will be acts. For example, if you see the fungi, in the fungi the cell wall is made with some of the substances called as lignin, with the chitin. With the help of chitin the fungal cell wall will be present. And if you see the algae, in the algae most of the material is present on outer side of the cell wall is only the pectinaceous substances. Pectin material will be present as a outermost layer, and so these are the some of the substances which are, and bacteria, if you see the bacteria, the cell wall is made with peptidoglycan substances. So this is about the outermost layer, that is called as cell wall. Then coming to the inner layers, inner cell organelles. So the cell organelles is in the plant cell there are many number of are there. There are nucleus is there, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, vacuole, Golgi complex, chloroplast, mitochondria, like these different cell organelles are present inside the plant cell. So the liquid material which is present inside this inside the plasma membrane, that is called as cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm only the nucleus is present. So the nucleus is somewhat double membrane layer containing cell organelle. It is somewhat large in nature and it is located centrally in the animal cell, but it is somewhat peripheral in the plant cell, because most of the place in the plant cell is occupied with vacuole, and inside this nucleus there is a small cell organelle called as nucleolus is present, and surrounding this nucleus there are a double membrane envelope is present, that is called as nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope, nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope, and the space which is present inside this nuclear membrane is called as nuclear space, and some of the small pores which are present on the nuclear membrane are called as nuclear pores. These nuclear pores are allowing some of the substances into the nucleus and outside of the nucleus, means it is plays an important role in pumping of substances or allowing of the substances into the nucleus or outside of the nucleus, and it is also connected to the one in some places with rough endoplasmic reticulum and in some places with smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum means it plays an important role in protein synthesis. It is mainly bounded with ribosomal structures, and smooth endoplasmic reticulum without ribosomes it will be present, and this cytoplasmic structure which is present inside the nuclear envelope, that is called as nuclear sap or nucleoplasm will be present. Inside that there are some of the genetic material is present inside this material, and inside that nucleolus will be present. Inside the nucleus there are some of the rRNA and ribosomal proteins are included inside the nucleus, and the genetic material which is present inside the nucleus is in the form of chromosomes it is present. So this chromosomal number is giving a particular number from organism to the organism. For example, if you see the human beings, the number of chromosomes are present inside the nucleus is 46 in 23 pairs, means 23. In number, how many number of chromosomes are present? 46 number of chromosomes are present. So these chromosomes are having one of the central structure, paired structure, so that is called as paired in nature, and here the central region is called as centromere and it is extending towards the end. This end is called as telomere. What is that? Telomere. So a pair of structures are present inside from the centromere region. So these are called as chromatids. What are they? Chromatids. So these chromatids plays a very important role in transformation of genetic characteristics from one generation to the another generation, or from generation to generation the similar characteristics or different characteristics are transforming due to the presence of this DNA or genetic material which is present inside the nucleus. Okay. So this is about the nucleus, and this nucleus is plays a very important role in heredity or inheritance. So this nucleus is containing genetic material is mainly made with called as DNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. So in the form of chromosomes. In the chromosome, if you see the chromosomes are appears as a pair in number, and the central region which is present in this chromosome is called as centromere, and the ending region is called as telomere, and from this there will be appears in a chromatid structure. So these chromatid structures are plays very important role in carrying the different characteristics from one generation to the another generation. So this is about the nucleus which is present inside the nuclear organism. And in the next one is the liquid material which is present inside the cell is called as cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is having so many number of cellular organelles. The cellular organelles containing liquid material is called as cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is having some of the nutrient materials like starch, glucose, and some of the food material storing regions. These are all are combined and forms this cytoplasm. So this is about some of the cell organelles which are present in the plant cell. In next class we are going to discuss about remaining topics. Thank you.